Colonial. My name is Torie Smith. I'm the Connections Director at the South KC campus, and we're going through Christmas songs for our Advent Devotional series. One of my very favorite Christmas songs of all times is I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. The song carries a somber, almost haunting tone to it, and it dives deeply into the realities of peace on earth. It's a rendition of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem, Christmas Bells. The poem was written on Christmas Day, 1863, to a man racked with grief. Days before, Longfellow had just recovered his son Charlie from a military hospital after he had been injured while fighting in the Civil War. Charlie was shot close to his spine, almost paralyzing him, and they were worried that he would never walk again. 2 years previous, Longfellow's wife was killed after her dress caught fire. Longfellow himself tried to smother the flames with his own body, but ended up so badly burned that he was unable to attend his own wife's funeral. As the world rose up in the Civil War around him, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow sunk into a deep depression, a world so dark that he feared he would be admitted to an insane asylum. His poem is a grappling with two realities that seemed impossible to rectify. On one hand, the joy of Christmas, the message of the church, and the hope of the Son of God come to bring peace to a sin-sick world. On the other, a country divided, brother against brother, city against city. In the often omitted fourth verse of the song, it reads, "Then from each black accursed mouth the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men." As the Christmas bells were ringing, the cannons were literally drowning out the sounds of peace. They spewed out division and destruction that drowned out the sounds of the church bells. The songs of peace could not be heard over the clamor of war. And then come the two most iconic verses of the poem. First, the moments of Longfellow's darkest desolation put to words. "And in despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said. For hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men." In many ways, this feels like it could have been written over the last several years. Everywhere we look, there's hatred. Peace seems impossible to find. Families are split apart over vaccines and mask mandates. Politics are destroying friendships. Social media has become a battlefield, and our opinions and relationships are the casualties. Peace is nowhere to be found. Christmas, a time which should be sweet and sacred and still, has instead become a war zone, where our own opinions march to the front lines to open fire on the people that we say that we love the most. Hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. But then come the final words of Longfellow's poem, the conclusion to which he came. "Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor does he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men." As the world is quite literally exploding around him and in the throes of deep loss, Longfellow turned his eyes to the hope of a Christmas not yet realized, a world where the wrongs are made right. The most beautiful promise of Christmas comes through a baby, born on a night that probably wasn't so silent, in a world whose cries of suffering and despair can be heard from the ears of heaven. Those cries have not escaped the ears of a God who is not dead. He is not sleeping. He is awake and watchful and is actively working to restore the world. Revelation 21 promises a day where the Lord will dwell among his people, where he will wipe away tears and pain and suffering. The wrong will fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. As we sit in this Advent season, in this time of waiting, may we all reflect deeply on the promise of the right that is to come. The world around us seems so impossibly divided, so irreparably full of hatred and pain. Many of us carry wounds that are especially tender in the holiday season. Waiting is never easy. Waiting is slow, holy, sacred work, but it's difficult. But like Longfellow, I pray that each one of us comes assuredly to the conclusion that someday right will prevail. Peace will fall again to the earth, and goodwill will live amongst men. Don't forget to check out this song and others on the Spotify playlist linked in the comments below.